As if Twitter could not get any more worse. Hello everyone, it's me and Alice back with another video, and this is not a video I didn't particularly want to make, but I feel like I'm obligated because I do know that quite a few of my subscribers are younger than me, or a lot of them are minors. Nice to say that YouTube can give me statistics, but also it is an issue that I've started noticing popping up on Twitter in the last few days, and not a lot of people are talking about it, but also I feel like it's an opportunity to send out a warning if need be, but also to kind of bring up like how this is able to happen, which is kind of annoying that a simple girl behind a camera and a bunch of other people is like the only way to get the warning out to younger people and minors, because their parents can't do it now apparently. I don't know, but this is definitely a video I do feel like I need to get out there. So here we go. Let's just get on with it, because I already know this video is no way it's getting full ads. So it is something I've talked about briefly on my channel a very long time ago, which is the map community, which if you don't know what that is, it is a minor attractive person. It's basically a pedophile with a cutesy name to like make it sound better or justify it or something, and they have done so much to try to gain an acceptance and trying to call it a sexuality and pride their way in the LGBT community. Many times I've countered these people myself personally. It is a bit of it can be its own video with an incident that happened even on a My Little Pony fan fiction site over a year ago, and even some other users have been called out for a certain thing, and a whole controversy on that site with types of stories they've been posting. I could literally make an entire video on that, and maybe I will someday, with how this shit's becoming more normalized, unfortunately. But recently, the map community has since made out a new little tweet that a bunch of people have been warning other people on in the last few days, which is hashtag GAK or hashtag KAG, which is grown-ups attracted to kids or kids attracted to grown-ups.
Come on. Come on, baby. I just want out.
This is the world that we live in now. Now, I'm not going to go on here and blame the kids for, saying that they're stupid and idiot and they should know better, because they don't know better. They're kids. That's the whole, going against the kids can consent argument, because kids can't. They don't know any better. They go online, they see this stuff, and it seems normal to them. And because parents have unfortunately not been monitoring, or they've been not doing as well as a job at monitoring what their kids going on, a lot of times they just don't understand. So with the whole kids attracted to adult things, that might just be so cool to them, especially when it comes to like young boys, because a lot of the time when a boy gets unfortunately taken advantage of by teachers, it's usually on Twitter being praised or not taking it as seriously as if the victim was a girl. And so when a young boy sees stuff like that, it's just, oh, this is just normal. Boys are meant to like this regardless of age, which is not the case. It is not the case. I hate that fucking Twitter make it sound like that. Like fucking But this is a hashtag that has been popping up pretty much like it's been popping up more so recently, and I've looked into the posts that some of these maps have been posting with it. I'm not going to show any of them on here because I would like to at least try to make this video not get overly blocked and age restricted. But I will show the tweets of people bringing it up. I probably already have showed some of them, but I have some of the tweets of people warning them. And there is actually another video of another YouTuber that talked about it a few days at the time that I started recording this. And it is generally a big concern. And for Twitter, it's so much harder on Twitter because it is not really monitored. It is so weird how lenient it can be sometimes, because you go on Twitter and you can see all of these explicit images and not safe for work content. Of course, not safe for work content is definitely, legal. A lot of the stuff that maps posts are not, and these stuff usually goes under the radar, or Twitter just does not take it as seriously as it should. And once again, parents don't really monitor their kids. It astounds me because we get parents complaining about YouTube taking advantage of kids with their advertisements so much that YouTube has since become so much stricter with their kid content. But then at the same time, adults don't monitor what their kids are doing because shit like this pops up, and then they get all surprised when their kids are starting to rebel against them and act more explicit and want to be more sexual, and it's usually because of shit like this they see on the internet, and parents not doing the best job as monitoring them, as well as a platform that doesn't do a good job moderating this content. So it goes all both ways. The kid only can see what the parent gains access for them to see and what the platform allows this young demographic to see as well. It's a two-way street for the platform to the parents of what the child has access to. And well, maps know this. Any potential, groomers and pedophiles, maps, they know very well of all of this, which is why they can go on a platform like Twitter and to be able to seek these young minors out. It's disgusting at how accessible this stuff is. And I think another thing I should add, especially because I didn't even realize this was a thing on Twitter until I saw someone else's video on this topic and I pointed out, and then I looked at Twitter myself, is that when it comes to the age on Twitter, the locator where it shows like where you're at on Twitter actually does show the person's real age. So if a person can go, like if if there was a map that was going through Twitter, saw someone had that hashtag or saw someone's profile, they can go on the profile and then the locator would tell them what their age is. And if it's someone underage, they can, potentially seek that out and be able to find minors that way, which is something I did not even know. I mean, I have a Twitter. I hardly ever use it because I hate Twitter, but it is something that I didn't even realize is a thing that is another way for these people to be able to seek these out.
I'm going!
It is just an unfortunate, disgusting mess, especially at how worse it has gotten over the years. Like, even from when I made that video, which was probably 2 years ago, it has only gotten more worse. Like I said, because this is mainly on Twitter because of how easy and how, basically how easy it is to be able to get away with it on Twitter. But this has carried on a lot on other sites. Like I said, I can make a whole entire video on how bad it's gotten on a My Little Pony site, or at least the controversy behind that My Little Pony fanfiction site, because you got the whole freedom of speech, but you also got some disgusting fantasies being explicit on that site. And I would know I'm quite active on it. Not as much as I used to be because I've been focusing on YouTube. But yes, and this is just one of the many reasons and examples of how it's still out there, why it's still out there, and why it's getting worse. And I fear on how worse it's going to get in the coming years, because if this stuff can get bypassed Twitter like this, then I can only imagine how it's going to get worse on other social media sites if they handle it the same way. And once again, a lot of parents these days, it shocks me on how much they complained about stuff that's on the internet, what's accessible to kids, but then at the same time, don't monitor their kids. And I can say this quite easily because, well, as a gamer, I'm on the internet quite a bit, and I have spoken to a lot of kids. I've seen a lot of kids. And right there, the way they talk, what they message me, it's just so uncensored, and you can just tell, like, their parents just give them a tablet or a console or just some kind of device to be like, okay, here's something that can distract you for a couple hours and keep, and give me some peace for a little while. And even from my own experience, even though my parents tried to, or they, were very strict on us watching certain, horror genres, overall, we were pretty much unsupervised, so we could just watch it easily. Now, I'm not saying we have to be overbearing. I'm not saying we have to put them in a bubble and not make them aware of this stuff at all, and to just be very, very strict. What I am saying is that there should be some type of monitoring in a safe degree, and to at least warn the kids of what is going on, and to be ready and prepared if they see it, and how to handle it, which is basically block them, report them or just look away, or warn the parents so the parents can do it themselves. Basically, we have to make kids aware that this stuff is not okay, because if we don't, then kids are going to think that it is and then get themselves caught up in some unfortunate mess. And once again, it is so sickening on how easy and worse it's become online. And it's one of the reasons why I feel like I have to at least make this video to get it out there, because if it can help one person, then you know what, the video did its job. Because once again, this is an issue that has only gotten worse, and I haven't seen so many people talk about it. Every time like some big incident out there, it's not really brought up a lot. I think the only big incident that was like an like actual confirmed map where a lot of people were talking about was like a Yeet, and that was like, once again, like over a year or 2 years ago, and that name pretty much since died down. So I don't really think a lot of people still talk about him a lot, which, you know, good, because we shouldn't be giving that guy attention, but just still shows that how big the problem has gotten, but how limited that knowledge is to a lot of people astounds me. So this is my final warning, especially to my young minors on this channel. If you see any hashtag of GAK or KAG, block them. Avoid them at all costs. Maps, avoid them, block them. Do not, you know, these people, they're not good people. Or at most, they don't have the best intentions for you. And with that being said, because I'm just gonna leave it there, because I don't particularly like making these videos, but these are videos I feel like that need to be made, especially now since I don't really make political content anymore. Might start doing some here and there because I do miss it to a degree, but this was definitely a must video being made, especially since I myself started seeing this pop up more in the last few days. Hopefully Twitter does something. You know, some people have mentioned on Twitter that I know like one user on Twitter pointed out, like, when you report something, there should be an option to report, you know, CP. And, you know, as well, some people say that, you know, there is an option where you can show insensitive, disturbing content. It should be more explicit, as the person points out, because then Twitter can know that, oh, this is actually something very serious that needs to be dealt with, or just something beyond that. So it's just a very messed up situation. But with that being said, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I post videos and stream as often as I can, hoping to never have to make this video again, but knowing the way Twitter and maps are going, probably will, maybe in another year. We'll see. Really, it's times like these when I think the internet was a mistake, even though I am trying to make a career living off the internet. Till next time!